This is Anthony, NXTZEN USA. We're going to go over a little GSO2. The GSO2 is our latest flagship coating, 9-year coating. It's loaded with graphene, ton of graphene in it, and I'll explain a little bit more of that here in a moment. But there are some people who wanted a little bit of a demo on the application and removal. So we're going to go over that. And obviously the first thing is you want your panel polished, as nice as you can possibly get it, or whatever your customer is paying for. And then we're going to do a panel prep after that is all done with the NXTZEN prep solvent. So why this over like the traditional isopropyl alcohol? It has to do with the solvents. The solvents give you a longer working time. Isopropyl alcohol goes on there, it says flashes pretty quick. And it won't give you a little bit of lubrication that you need. The solvents in the prep solvent are designed to give you a little bit more working time, and it keeps the surface wet longer. So we're going to do a little panel prep here. And you'll notice, because we use the NXTZEN Cutmaster, we don't really have any dust. So this panel here is going to be ready here in just a moment. And I call the NXTZEN GSO2 a beast. And the reason I call it a beast is it's not so much that it's that much more difficult to apply. There is a little bit of a learning curve. And that learning curve is the application of how you're going to want to lay down your application. Here we have our pad, and we've done a few panels already. We have our syringe. It's got some graphene loaded in there. And the mistake a lot of people make is they apply too much coating. The graphene's kind of a little bit different because you can actually see it. So my first might be in the lines this way, maybe 1 or 2 lines, and then my next will be this way, 1 or 2 lines. And that starts to give me a little bit of product right here in the middle after a few. Now you may have to, about halfway, especially on a beast like this, you may have to flip over to the other side because this can get saturated with coating, and it may give you some issues. But we're going to go this way. 1. It doesn't need, you do not need a whole lot. So what a lot of people do is they'll start up in the corner and then they'll start coming down. But what that does is that leaves you a bunch of product up here. What I prefer to do is something this large, I may just half it, and I'll start here in the middle, and I'll work my way out. Ideally, I want, even though it's black and you can kind of see it, but I want it about that thin. Nice and thin. And I'm going to work it till it's got that thin consistency all over it. In this shop environment, we're climate controlled. I'm going to leave it probably no longer than 2 minutes. But when I have heavy ones like this, I want to knock those down and try to spread it out. Like if I were laying down a layer of wax, wax is laid down to where you can barely see it. Because anything you remove, it's just product that's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. When we used to do wax years and years ago, guys thought a thicker layer was better. But in detailing, less is more. So I actually have enough to pretty much do this whole panel back here with just that little bit you saw me put on. So right about here, I'm kind of coming to the end of it. This is going to be a dual layer. So this is our first layer. We're going to wait an hour between the layers. So I'm going to let this just sit here and rest. and we'll continue in about 2 minutes. All right, we're right about 2 minutes. So we're going to take a clean microfiber towel. I prefer a low nap towel first. And I'm going to go over it almost like I'm trying to spread it all over the surface again. Not a great deal of pressure at the moment. I like to go in linear as opposed to circular. A little bit more pressure. Flip my towel. You can see some of the graphene coming off there. So after that right there, I really like these towels that are kind of numbered, right? So you got 1 and 2. 1. A lot of times I put a towel down and I don't know. It's okay, well, which was my first wipe and which was my second wipe? So this helps us older, slower guys. Doo-doo-doo. We are just about done. The Elite Graphene will definitely give you a little bit more of a workout. That's what I get feedback from. And now we are ready for our insurance wipe. Flip that over. Next one's for 3 and 4. If my schooling was correct. On the wet insurance wipe, I just want a trail of water, not soaking wet. It's a nice trail of water there. Then I'm going to take my drying towel, and the water I'm using, it's a distilled water. And we're done. We'll give it about an hour. We'll come back and we will do the second layer. That's it. Probably in the next couple weeks, Joel from the founder of NXTZEN, he's going to be giving a really in-depth going over of the graphene, its adhesion, co-adhesion properties, and what all that means. Thanks for watching. Give us a click, a like, subscribe.